Like, they're suing me for something I didn't do. It's just the most bullshit thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of fucking money.
Netflix has slammed Jake Paul with a $100 million lawsuit, not over a film deal or missed payment, but for walking away from what was supposed to be one of the decade's biggest boxing events. Now Jake is scrambling as the foundations of his empire begin to shake.
The Jake Paul-Tank Davis fight has officially been canceled. It is off. It is not happening on November.
The Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis showdown scheduled for November 14th was marketed as a historic spectacle. Tickets sold out within hours, pay-per-view projections skyrocketed, and Netflix poured massive resources into global promotion. Then, without warning, Jake canceled the entire event.
So that fight that was supposed to go down with Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis in Miami on November 14th is not happening. It has been canceled officially, and this comes, not too long after Gervonta Tank Davis was accused of assaulting a woman.
I heard that Gervonta Davis was being very difficult to work with, and Netflix was just waiting for a reason.
He didn't just withdraw from a fight, he triggered a legal war. His public explanation? That Gervonta Davis had allegedly abused women, and he couldn't promote a fighter facing those accusations. A noble stance on the surface.
If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man.
The media praised him. Fans split sides. Some saluted his morals, others questioned his timing. But behind the polished PR messaging, insiders said something felt off.
Tank's team is now fighting back, and
according to sources close to the camp, the truth was harsher and far simpler. Jake wasn't taking a stand, he was backing away. For the first time, he was set to face a world-class boxer, not a retired athlete or crossover celeb. Davis boasts 26 wins, 24 knockouts, and a reputation for brutal finishes. This was no influencer showcase, it was real combat.
And he was more scared than he had ever been before a fight by facing Gervonta Davis.
And Jake knew it. Insiders say his confidence began fading weeks before fight night. Training sessions were cancelled, sleep was scarce, and team meetings focused more on exit strategies than game plans. The trademark bravado was cracking. What fans saw as confidence was masking panic.
Because it's a civil lawsuit, and it's just allegations, it's not criminal, so there must be some...
So when the allegations against Davis resurfaced online, Jake saw his opening. One statement and he could leave the fight behind without admitting fear. He framed it as defending women. Insiders call it image management, a carefully timed escape.
Most valuable promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th.
But Netflix wasn't interested in motives. They were invested in business. The company had poured millions into production, marketing, and global distribution. Projections touched $120 million. Deals were signed, venues booked, and promotional engines firing. And Jake's decision detonated the entire operation.
Closer the fight got, the more reality was getting to him, so he put an scapegoat plan in effect.
That's why Netflix hit back. Their lawsuit accuses Jake of knowingly breaching his contract and causing massive financial damage. If they win, Jake risks losing far more than money. He could lose his credibility as a dependable draw.
It calls into question everything that they've done to build that.
Fans have been ruthless. Social media is filled with accusations of cowardice and fake toughness. Jake, once praised for fearlessness, is now trending for fear. One viewer wrote, "He talked like he was built different, then folded when a real boxer showed up."
So much time, effort, and energy, and it's like...
But it's also compounded.
Boxing insiders aren't being gentle either. Promoters, fighters, and commentators have openly mocked him. Many argue this single decision wiped out years of work Jake invested in earning respect within the sport. As one insider put it, respect isn't claimed, it's earned in the ring.
They said that they had an investigation, they looked into it, they feel comfortable moving on, and I think it was 100% the right call to move on. It is not the right look, it is not the right message.
Ironically, this fight could have been Jake's breakthrough. A strong performance against Davis, even in defeat, could have silenced critics. Instead, his reputation is now hanging on a legal thread, with Netflix's legal team pulling it tight.
Gervonta Davis is an actual walking human piece of garbage. Working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism, the bizarre requests, the showing up hours late to shoots, the numerous arrests and related accusations and lawsuits.
The timing couldn't be worse. His brand relies on being loud, bold, and fearless. Now he's being painted as someone who hid fear behind moral rhetoric, a label that's almost impossible to shake.
She's retired. Like, she should be she's in Hawaii on a fucking lawsuit phone call, and they're like, yo, your son has to pay this. Like, it just...
Financially, the fallout is severe. Even without a full trial, Jake may be forced to pay millions in settlements. His team is scrambling for damage control, but Netflix is pushing hard. They want every dollar back and intend to make an example of him. Instead of preparing for a fight, Jake is preparing for a courtroom battle.
He said it out of his own mouth over and over again. The fear was...
The fight that never happened has become something far more destructive, a legal crisis that could become the biggest loss of Jake's career. There's no ring, no referee, and no manufactured victory here.
The only corporation or company that has paid people to beat women more is the NFL.
Netflix wasn't just streaming this event, they were betting big on it. This was supposed to be their flagship moment in the sports world, a multi-million-dollar launch with blockbuster expectations. Pay-per-view projections were so massive that Netflix reinforced its servers, expecting unprecedented traffic. Then Jake canceled.
But it didn't end there, because once the dust settled on Tank Davis, Jake and Francis this morning have engaged in a back and forth, old-fashioned Twitter war.
Like that, everything collapsed. Millions in marketing evaporated overnight. Sponsors froze campaigns. Production teams were dismissed. The entire promotional ecosystem fell apart. Executives panicked, sponsors demanded refunds, and internal meetings devolved into damage control chaos. For Netflix, it wasn't only financial loss, it was reputational. Jake was their flashy gamble, the star who was supposed to carry them into big money boxing. Instead, he bailed. Jake's team tried downplaying the situation, but attorneys warned him this wasn't something he could PR his way out of. This was a legal fight against a corporation that rarely loses.
That there is an alleged video of the incident. We were also told that, it's not just about the incident, although I'm sure that had a pretty big, that was a pretty big reason for why we got to this.
Legal analysts say the case could define Jake's career. If he's found liable, he could owe more than $100 million, including lost profits. Sponsors may abandon him, business deals could stall, and upcoming projects might freeze. Netflix reportedly has airtight documentation showing Jake backed out at the last moment without solid justification. If that holds, judges won't buy his moral reasoning. They'll see panic, not principle.
The thing is, this back and forth only makes me want to see the fight more.
Meanwhile, social platforms exploded. Jake's name trended across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Supporters insisted he made an ethical choice. Critics called it a coward's excuse disguised as activism. His brand, built on being fearless and unpredictable, has taken a deep hit. Fans are questioning whether he ever took boxing seriously or simply chased attention. The very internet that made him a star is now tearing him apart.
According to Team Tank, they are suggesting that this was not at the bequest of Netflix to cancel the event.
Analysts describe the fallout as a colossal PR collapse. It's already being studied in business and legal circles as a cautionary tale of how one decision, fueled by ego and fear, can trigger industry-wide chaos. And now the question hangs, what comes next? Can Jake survive the storm, or is this the problem he can't spin? He may return to boxing with a bruised ego and lighter pockets, or he may disappear until the courtroom dust settles. His fan base is divided. Some applaud his reasoning, others see pure fear. And maybe both are true. Right now, Jake isn't at a crossroads, he's standing in the middle of one.
When these allegations and accusations came, right, Jake Paul took that and ran with it and then used it as a catalyst to stain Tank's name but not have to fight him.